Hi everyone, thanks so much for taking the time to subscribe to the channel. My name is Bruce Swartz, I'm in Montreal. I study ufology, I study astronomy, I have a nice 14-inch telescope and quite the amazing community, and I thank you all for being here. This is On the Sun. I like the filtering here as compared to that bright, crazy orange that I showed in the last video. Not much, eh? Well, for me, it's a lot, and some of these fireballs, if not all of these fireballs, or whatever they are, unknown objects, UFOs, that's why we call them UFOs, they're pretty large. And we could see them, objects coming in and out of the sun. And this, exactly like I showed, was in 2017, at the end of 2017, exactly the 25th or 26th of October. So there was a lot of activity. 2019, the sun went into a solar minimum and now apparently reactivated. It's just spontaneously exploding now. And in 2015, this is why scientists are thrilled. They say that in 2000, did I say 2015? Oh my goodness. In 2000, I think, is it 2025? I don't even remember anymore. Anyways, there's supposed to be sunspots appearing on the sun. I believe it is 2025, but I'd have to check. Don't depend on what I gave you as a date. Can't remember everything. And there's the sundogs. If you want to know what that is, look it up, sundog. But listen, hear me out and back this up. These sundogs, are they affecting the clouds? I believe so, somehow. And again, look here, it's the line is in the center. It's not following the clouds. Or is it? And I wonder sometimes. It almost does look like it is, right? But again, that's the area, sundogs to the left of the clouds. I wanted to show you that. We're going to plunge into the moon on the surface. We're going to go back and look at those fast radio bursts that I was seeing in space, and even what looked like a signal from Venus. It was definitely a signal, okay? There was definitely something going on. Got some nice shots, filtered it as best as I could. Here's an X marking the spot right over my house. There's a piece of my house. I'll move over. Not far away from me. X's every day over the house. Let's head to the moon. To help humanity as a goal in life, we all should have that in our goals, to do a little bit of good. There's no amount of people that you have to reach to have been successful. If you reach one person and that person can understand what you're trying to share, I think success in numbers is not real. Everybody, check it out. A nice object on the surface that really gets to me. Let's just see it one more time because it's fascinating. It's a very symmetrical edge that we could see, but it looks like some type of boxed in dark structure that's hiding amongst the mountains that you can see there. Let's take a last look at it. And then we're going to head over to Plato Crater. Look at some colors and smokes and hazes on the surface. I guess that's enough of that one. I can never get tired of those objects. Just seeing them like that, it's absolutely crazy. Plato Crater, nice and close up. And yeah, this is a nice shot to be able to see the greens on the surface. The moon is so green. There are so many green colors on the moon. It's just absolutely incredibly fascinating. Right, well, let's talk seriously, ladies and gents. We're on the surface of the moon. We're seeing a cloud-like object go by that is very large. That definitely could be like cloud cover. Not shown this one in this way before. We see maybe biological creatures or unknown objects. They're UFOs, whether they're biological or objects, because we don't know exactly what we're looking at. So they just remain UFOs, right? That's why I call these UFOs. But do I believe that there's a possibility there could be biological creatures, big or small? I don't know. I don't have the confirmation, but it sure as hell is interesting to come up with some theories when you see these things flying around over the moon, in the hazes of the moon. Now, what do you think that large object, those two large objects going by? This isn't colored. There's no filtering here whatsoever at all. It's the surface that's that color, my friends. That's why I'm pressed up to show you that. Right? And here's the object with another object and other objects appearing amongst these objects. And look at what's going by. Ginormous, cloud-like object. We can't say anything else. And for those, are those dusts? Well, they'd be pretty bloody big dusts for, to see them like that. from Earth. Yeah, well, you can be sure I'll be working on this one this week. That is a large object, and there's something beside them. Always, there's always, like they're never alone. Most of the time, there's a large object and a small object. Got a small UFO that's going towards the larger object. But look at the cloud or smoke. I mean, you can't say it's a craft that's going by, right? You literally see it. Right. Explosions. Before going to see Venus explosion in space, they were talking about it, a Magnastar. I'll tell you all about what science is telling us in the news about what could have been those flashes, which were very rarely seen, by the way, only 2 or 3 times. That's an explosion on the moon that you just saw. Paused. It was a still. That's the size of it. And the size of these explosions, look it up yourself. NASA says that they are ginormous, all right? And the flashes that they are showing are not bigger than what I'm capturing. So if NASA's capturing flashes and amateur astronomers like me are capturing it, there must be a lot on the moon. There it is. The flash, which is very hard to see. And again, like sticking this one in, it pisses off the trolls. That's fire, my friends, going down to the surface. So there are crafts that have propulsions at the back of them. So we're not talking only alien UFO technology here. It could be could be some human interest to the moon, and maybe something's going on with humans and aliens on the moon. There's a flash that you see over to the right there, an explosion on the moon. But look what happens when I see what I think is an explosion, and it was fast. There's a light beside it. Look at it changing places. So these lights are moving around. So maybe even what some of NASA, some of the things that they're showing are not explosions either. Flashes of light or smaller explosions. We will see one briefly in here. I think I have one in here. I don't usually like showing NASA stuff, but you get a little tiny glimpse of exactly what they got as a size. There's no difference. It's the same shapes and forms, the explosions that I'm capturing as what NASA's capturing. And again, here, look at that. There you go. And you see it's literally like, I zoomed up on that shape, and it's not circular like a regular blast of a meteor. It's more of something I think that came from the surface. That's a little bit scary. Many different explosions, many different characteristics. What do you guys think of that deep space sound that you're hearing? There's NASA. By the way, this is one of the collisions that was captured. We're doing a comparison, same bloody thing, right? What are the big noises that we could be hearing in space, deep in space? Well, let me tell you, when oxygen, if something's speeding and arrives into oxygen area, you will hear a humming sound. If there was a large object, I always said to myself, coming to Earth, we would hear a humming sound. Something coming to kill us, very large planet or object, it would be a humming sound. So don't wonder why we're hearing sounds in space. Things are moving around. So this is the explosion on the moon. Very happy to show you on the dark side of Earth side, dark side, the Terminator line. Beautiful, large explosion, by the way, a couple of kilometers wide, right? For sure. More than a couple of miles, maybe 5-6 kilometers wide. That's what they look like when they explode on the surface of the moon. Aristarchus crater. Not only are there flashes of lights, different flashes of light, different events are different characteristics. These lights, which do look like the crafts that I'm seeing with the ones with the black and the propulsion at the back, we could see it in Aristarchus crater. And look at the illuminated lights as they light up in line symmetrically, one after the other. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to try to show it to you very slowly as these things are going by fast. There's 1, there's the 2, and there's the 3, and going like that continually. 1, 2, 3. There's a system of lights. It's right under the hazes and clouds on the moon. I mean, there's another civilization up there. They could be thousands. I don't know how many they are, but it's certainly is intriguing. Let's head over and see the explosion. This is the interference, a fast radio burst. Let's talk a little bit about what fast radio bursts are and what science is saying recently happened. So that's pretty trippy. Fast radio bursts. Did you know that Arecibo had caught one of those radio bursts? And did you all know that Arecibo, we're talking about, yes, the one that was decommissioned, the one that was hit somehow, right? whether it be a DEW satellite, direct energy weapon that did hit it or not. I have no idea about that. It's just shooting that theory out there. Fast radio burst is a transient radio pulse of length ranging from a fraction of a millisecond to a few milliseconds, exactly what we're looking at right here, caused by some high-energy autophysical process not yet understood. Astronomers estimate the average fast radio burst releases as much energy in a millisecond as the sun puts out in 3 whole days. While extremely energetic at their source, the strength of the signal reaching Earth has been described as 1,000 times less than from a mobile phone on the moon. So, 2007, the Lorimer burst. There's the 2010 burst, the 2011, 2012, and there's a fast radio burst, an observation in 2012 of last radio burst in the direction of Auriga in the Northern Hemisphere, right? Using the Arecibo radio telescope confirmed that the extragalactic origin of fast radio pulses by an effect known as plasma dispersion. So by knowing all this, this could be telling us something for all you Planet X fanatics and everything that wanted to know if possibly something could be coming towards Earth or going by our solar system that was really large. I believe so. And plasma dispersion, look it up. Could be a lot going on, but those radio bursts are still unknown today. Many have radio frequencies detected around the 400 megahertz. A few have been detected at lower frequencies in the range of 400 to 800 megahertz. May 2020, 9:30 p.m. Happy that I documented that, boy. I went to look on when I had posted this at the first time, the beginning. There's something up at the back there. May. Wow. I thought it was July or August. There was a second burst that was in July or August also that I'm very happy to have caught. See, why am I happy? Because no one's talking about it. Arecibo telescope in Puerto Rico, my friend, the one that was decommissioned and that was mysteriously hit, is a telescope that is the most, I repeat, the most sensitive telescope in the world, looking for alien audio communications. That's exactly what they're looking for. All right. And let me tell you that the Arecibo Observatory caught a radio burst. Here is Venus. And here is, to give you an idea, straight up, the intensity around Venus. And the light there on the right, that's Venus right there, that little dot on the right. And look at how vast the light is. It's electromagnetic frequency that is scattered in a wide area across Venus. Check it out. You remember this one? Well, that too is also a short millisecond or couple millisecond radio flash. This one was very large also, but a lot further out. So Venus, it was in the Northern Hemisphere, northwest when I saw Venus. If it wasn't for my amazing community, this channel wouldn't even exist. Thanks a whole bunch, everyone. I really appreciate it. Slow disclosure is in progress. More information will be coming, a lot more.
This is Houston. Say again, please.